Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, the other day I tweeted this. When I experience success, it sets a new benchmark for the illusion of disappointment. I'll read it again, just kind of slow. When I experience success, it sets a new benchmark for the illusion of disappointment. All right, so what was on my mind when I wrote that was having one of my most recent, it's I think my most recent Medium essay published, and it didn't get boosted. And I think it was probably the best thing that I've ever written, if not one of the best things I've ever written.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought back to my first ever boost and how surprised I was. I never expected a boost would ever happen. I wasn't writing to get boosted. And so I experienced this success of getting boosted. I've been boosted a bunch of times.
You want to roll there for a while.
Yeah. So it feels like an expectation all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And, like we talk about, I don't really care if I get boosted or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't deny that I felt disappointed. So it's just like a real honest feeling that I was having.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're here in Cedar Mountain. I was riding my bike in DuPont Forest, and I've been getting PRs like all week long. I've been here, almost 2 weeks?
Yep.
And it's like every single ride I've gone on, I've gotten personal records on trails I've been riding for 4 years that I started riding when I was 49. I'm 53. And so this idea of the growth mindset, like I think I tweeted something a few weeks ago, or put a message out there a few weeks ago, like I'm getting older, not slower. And I'm real proud about how I'm aging.
Mm-hmm.
And so having this growth mindset, I think, is really healthy. Yet the only way to have that growth mindset is through a comparison to previous versions of myself,
Mm-hmm.
which sets me up for this illusion of disappointment. I do think it's an illusion
Mm-hmm.
for when something doesn't get boosted, or when I have a bunch of rides where I'm not getting personal records. So anyway, I just thought about these two things. Like, if a comparison mindset is something that is a source of suffering, and a growth mindset is considered really healthy and good, how do you have a growth mindset without comparison? And just thought it would be a really fun way to play the whole mind game. So thanks for playing with me.
Sure. Sounds really fun.
All right, so this is not practiced. We have no idea what's going to happen. So comparison mindset on one side, and growth mindset on the other side. So what do you think is the best of a comparison mindset?
I guess the word that's coming up for me is measurable. So measurable in being able to see where you are in time and space. And I get, it just like helps anchor you to figure out where exactly you are in your life,
Mm-hmm.
or in whatever you're trying to succeed in.
Yeah. Agreed. I think my word is benchmark. And I think I used it in the thing. I think I said sets a new benchmark. Okay, cool. What do you think is the worst of a comparison mindset?
Not feeling good enough. Yeah, I think it's easy to compare yourself to your peers or a past version of yourself and feel like you are lacking in some way.
Yeah. You're great at this game. We play a lot together. Yeah, the worst of a comparison mindset.
I feel like you're at a disadvantage here because I get to pick mine first.
Yeah, yeah.
You get to go first the next time.
No, it's okay. I like you going first. Yeah, comparison mindset. What's the worst of a comparison mindset? I yeah, I believe it leads to a lot of suffering, and I say that for a reason. I think that um, when you're better at coming up with like a word or a phrase, which is how the game is meant to be. But what I'm thinking about is, what do we even, if we don't know what we like or love to do, if we don't know what our intrinsic passions are, then we might want things that we don't even want.
Ooh.
Right? Like how,
Yeah.
like I might,
Not being authentic.
not being authentic. Yeah. Yeah, it's not authentic. I want that big house, but do I want a big house? Maybe I really don't care about a big house. Like,
Yeah.
why, it's like I'm wanting things that I don't even want or that I don't even care about.
I almost called it unauthenticity, but I don't think that's a word. Inauthentic, is that a word?
Inauthentic, yeah.
Okay.
Here's another thing, like, how about jealousy? Because I suck at singing, right? And so I might compare myself to people that can sing really well. And it's like I'm really just jealous that they can sing really well, or that they can play an instrument and I can't.
And then there's self-loathing from there.
Yeah.
Hatred spiral.
Hatred.
How about that one? Self-hatred spiral.
Self-hatred spiral. Yeah, this is
Yuck.
great. Okay, so these are all the downsides of a comparison mindset. Not good enough, not authentic, jealous, and a hatred spiral.
Ugh.
Yuck. All right. What would be the best of a growth mindset?
Limitless.
Ooh, limitless.
Yeah, you can continue on a trajectory of growth for as long as you want. There's no end to the amount of growth you can do.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, the way I think about it, I think that every day when I wake up, I've got an opportunity to grow that day. And I imagine I don't know what happened the day before. So let's say, yesterday I could have had the greatest day of my life. Like, it could have been just like the best day ever. And I don't have this, like, oh, it's all downhill from here because yesterday was so great. I think that today I could even have an even better day. But what if it's waking up in the hospital after a car accident you didn't realize you had? Or waking up after having had a stroke or something terrible like that. And I know I've woken up, not that long ago with 4 broken ribs, going mountain biking and 4 broken ribs a year ago. And I just feel like on that morning, that day I can grow. I have the opportunity to grow that day as if the previous day never occurred. So it's not about being better than I've ever been ever. It's about being able to grow from the moment I am in now.
Cool. So simmer that sauce. And can we write something down?
Yeah, it's silly because it sounds just like growth mindset. It sounds like always being able to grow. Like,
So what's the best of that?
Yeah. I guess it's hope. It's optimism.
Yeah, I like that.
Hope, optimism. I need to play this with you all the time.
We do.
Yeah, we need to record it more often. How about that? Okay, so what would be the worst of a growth mindset?
I don't know. I guess there's like an effort that comes with thinking about growth mindset. Like it just sometimes feels like you always have to be working at it and striving towards it, and um, yeah. So I guess my word is effort, or what about this? Like it's the idea that you're not good enough now and that you need to grow into something better. Like there's that you have to grow. I don't know what's my
Oh, it's like
simplified.
yeah, there's this thing called the growth imperative that in order for something to be successful, it has to be growing.
Yeah. So I guess the opposite is if you give up, you fail. So I guess opportunity for failure. Maybe that's it.
Opportunity for failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
What was the thing you said again? Growth.
growth
With
imperative. Growth imperative.
Say more on that.
I get that from let's say you start a company and it's got, you know, 5 employees and everybody is just super happy today. Like you interview everybody in the team. They're like, this is the best. Love this. And then if you ask them, so how would you feel if you had this particular job title and salary like for the rest of your life? And it's no, I want to grow in my career. I want opportunity for advancement. And if it's going to happen inside that business, the business has to grow.
Yeah, so nothing stays the same even if it's good.
Yeah. So but this idea that it has to grow. So I don't know, think about Purple Bowl where Drew used to work in Chapel Hill. It felt like it had this feeling like it could kind of stay its same size, like it served this purpose where it was sort of the college kids came and were coming and going, and it could just, there's businesses that could operate at, you could have a bike shop that's got 10 people working at it, and it could have 10 people for the history of time. Or how about Frank and Margaret at Hayes Barton Cafe and Dessertery in Raleigh? It's like it's been the same size with Frank and Margaret in the same role for, gosh, 23, 24 years. And I would consider that to be an incredibly successful organization. But the growth mindset, or not the growth mindset, the growth imperative is a way of saying that the only way for something to be successful is for it to be growing.
Yeah.
So I look as the growth imperative I wrote it down as a negative on my thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't have to be growing to be successful, but there's this imperative to grow.
Yeah. Cool. So what's yours?
It's funny that one of the first things you said though was also not good enough, and I noticed that it was on the other side. It was one of the worst of the comparison mindset. Yeah, I think when it's an obligation, the obligation for growth, which is similar to what we were just talking about, but I think it's an obligation. It makes it a negative. I kind of liked where you were going with this sort of always needing to work, always working.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to realize that I grow when I'm resting. So like growing is, at some point I said something to the effect of growing is like suffering and recovering.
Mm-hmm.
It's like survive the storm, suffer through the hard times, and recover.
Mm-hmm.
And in all those ways you're growing, but you're growing in the recovery phase.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a growth mindset makes you feel like you must always be surviving and suffering. Like it doesn't imply the recovery part.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like no time for recovery. I don't have a one word good for that. Like no rest.
Yeah, always working. You said
Always
it.
working.
You said it in the beginning.
Okay, I'm just talking in circles. Okay, cool. So the best of the best, the words I have here. The best of comparison mindset is measurable. It's a benchmark. Growth mindset, it's limitless. It's hope. It's optimism. So measurable, a benchmark, limitless, hope, and optimism. Can you sum that up into one word or phrase?
Ooh. I guess what's coming up is unstoppable.
Whoa.
Because, I mean, you can't have a measure for growth unless you compare to something that is known.
Mm-hmm.
So with that and the limitlessness of thinking about growth,
Mm-hmm.
there's just always room for improvement, always a place where you can exceed where you've been before.
Yeah.
So that's like super hopeful, that's optimistic, that's yeah, I think that's the best of the best.
Yeah. Unstoppable. I love it. Yeah, I don't have a better word. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so the shadow side, the trap.
Mm-hmm.
What the worst of the worst. Not good enough, not authentic, jealous, in a self-hatred spiral, opportunity for failure, this sort of obligation to grow and always working.
Yeah, I think what stuck out here is what you pointed out earlier is like the super similarities that these both have.
Yeah.
And I mean, generally speaking, like the shadow side is, yeah, just not feeling like you stack up and are failing yourself. I feel like the comparison mindset's very external and the growth mindset's very internal.
Mm-hmm.
So the shadow side is like sucking at life
Mm-hmm.
externally, at what others might see, and feeling that sense of failure on the inside as well.
Yeah.
So like embodying the deep, dark, not good enough.
Yeah.
And having everyone see it. I don't know what kind of one word that sums into, but
maybe just never enough.
Never enough, yeah.
It's like not good enough showed up on both sides, which I thought was fascinating, actually.
But the energetics are different. Like,
Yeah.
not good enough compared to someone else,
Yeah.
or someone else, how someone else sees me, versus, not good enough by my own internal systems.
Internally and internally and externally, not
Never
good.
enough.
Never
Yeah.
enough.
Which is actually the complete opposite of unstoppable.
Yeah. It would make sense. Okay, so we got if you're feeling unstoppable, so the goal is to maybe not think about a comparison mindset or a growth mindset. The idea is to look for opportunities to be unstoppable.
Mm.
And to avoid the trap, to avoid if you feel like I'm not enough, I haven't done good enough, then that's the trap. You're falling into the trap of both the comparison and the growth mindset if you have that never enough attitude.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to think of a way or two, like if you were to give me advice for, hey Andrew, this is one way you could be unstoppable tomorrow?
I guess this has come up a little bit lately in my coaching. Just like meeting that awareness with a lot of compassion. So when you see, like, when you're seeing yourself comparing to others, comparing to yourself, and you feel the pull of growth, meeting that with compassion is a way to unlock opportunity, as opposed to meeting yourself with self-criticism.
Yeah.
Where that may pull you down into the shadow side.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. Yeah. Meet awareness with compassion. I mean, I think the compassion, just be kind to myself.
Yeah. And there's like openness in that to continue to be unstoppable, as opposed to the closed critical feeling of crippling yourself into not moving forward or growing or doing what you thought was not possible before.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, my advice is just to say I am enough. Like tomorrow for you, say I am enough. So wherever you start in the morning, you're already enough. And then you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, only up from there.
Yeah.
So it's a mantra.
Yeah, I am enough.
I feel like this is super timely, especially because you're racing in the morning.
Yeah,
and
I'm racing.
Setting a benchmark for a race that you've done for 4 years in a row.
This will be my 4th year doing it. Yeah.
And I remember the first time you competed in this race, you podiumed, but were in absolute awe of the 60-year-old badass dudes who kicked your ass by probably 10 minutes?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
There was a 71-year-old who beat my time by 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
and I got 3rd place in my category. Yeah.
Yeah, thinking about how the comparison mindset is going to serve you tomorrow by like believing that you could be that person. And I see you like striving to be that healthy dude in their 60s that people, the 40-year-old guy's like, whoa, that guy kicked my ass. You want to be that guy.
Yeah. And
I've seen you grow towards that. So I think it can be super motivating. I think comparison mindset can get a really bad reputation. But when you have that like compassion, even like a motivation to get better, it can be super rewarding.
Yeah, agreed. So I get to get your coaching every day. if someone wants to find your coaching, where do they look? Where do they go?
Well, I have a website now, which I scraped together before coming on this trip, but it works. And it's abbykentcoaching.com. And you can find all my info there, and you can refer people. One of the things I love doing is having these conversations and helping what I like to call big-hearted professionals really start to look at their life in a different way and unlock some of these pieces and get to a place of growth that they didn't think was possible.
Cool. So Abby, ABBYKENT coaching.com. abbykentcoaching.com. Okay, cool. I want to read the essay that I wrote.
Which one is this again?
So this is the one that I had. This is the first time I've ever had I'm going to call her a coach. It's an editor, a human being editor that I hired to work with.
Jojo.
Jojo.
Okay.
Yes, this is the one that Jojo.
The one that didn't get boosted.
The one that didn't get boosted. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it'd be fun to read that one.
Yeah.
Plus, it's about.
I like this one.
Being here. I mean, we're here in Cedar Mountain.
Yep.
So it's published on Medium in a publication called The Narrative Arc, and it's titled "My Journey of Finding Home: From Adventures to Feasting. There's no place like home here with you." It was pitch black when I woke up. I silently slid off the mattress, feet first. Gus was in his usual spot, tucked between the aluminum wall and the foot of the bed. I was careful not to step on him or disturb Abby as I made my way out into the narrow hallway, pulling the accordion closed behind me. I felt my way to the back of the Airstream, turned on the light, and tucked myself into the seat by the table. Frank was fast asleep below. Frank's fast asleep right here now. And I'm in this very same spot. This is home, in the Airstream, in Cedar Mountain, under a canopy of trees, bikes parked outside, and the only sound is nature. Getting here has been a long road. I didn't always have a place called home. Now I find it everywhere. When I was 19, the only place I experienced home was on my motorcycle. I was broken-hearted and going to college at Stevens Tech in Hoboken. Dorm life never resonated. I slept on couches in secret corners of the campus library, in the loft, on the rooftop of the Chi Phi fraternity house, and on the bench seat of my red GMC Sierra. My high school sweetheart had too many good reasons to dump me, and a year later the loss continued to sting. Without love, I was a zombie, going through the motions. I went to the default college that my father and sister went to, and worked on movie sets in New York City in a union started by my mom's family. The paths were paved for me. When it came time to party, I wasn't really having fun, instead drinking until blackout drunk. The only place I felt at home was on two wheels. Any excuse to ride my motorcycle, I took it. That machine took me back to the source. When I was 3, I learned to ride a bicycle without training wheels, and I never looked back. My first bike had a banana seat, a single speed with pedal brakes. I started riding BMX bikes in grammar school, leading the way to mopeds and dirt bikes, until I finally restored my dad's 1971 BMW R60/5. I rode it wherever winding roads with fall-colored leaves led to women and food. That was my Aunt Marie and Grandma Jenny in Park Ridge. It was the Mullins girls in Ridgewood. All of them were beautiful, from 93 to 17. By God, those Mullins girls were gorgeous. All four of them, and that included their mom. Mr. Mullins was the music teacher in Rutherford. In grammar school, he was an adult who played the piano in the gymnasium and visited us in our classrooms with an acoustic guitar. We all sang "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver. I didn't know his girls until I met them in church when we were in high school. By then, I realized Mr. Mullins was John Denver, a hippie type with that worn brown leather sport coat, longish straight hair, and soothing voice. I was visiting home from college when my mom pointed out the house they used to live in. I had no memory of ever being there, playing with those girls when we were little children, being in the home of a school teacher. They had moved to North Jersey, and I asked Mom for the address. I'm sure she was feeding me all these tidbits because she knew her son was heartbroken, and she knew I was enamored with one of the sisters. The first time I arrived at their home, it was unannounced. That's how we did things back then. I just rolled up on my motorcycle and rang the bell. Mrs. Mullins invited me in, and I made up a story that I was looking for advice on a piano piece I was trying to learn. I was really just hungry. You know what that means. Mr. Mullins wasn't around, but I ended up hanging there for hours with the three girls and their mom. The one I liked made me an ankle bracelet out of braided colored strings. I had to take off my engineer boots and white tube socks to put it on. Barefoot was the way to be in that home. The five of us were sitting at their kitchen table eating a snack when one of them asked, "What season are you?" Huh? What? What season am I? They giggled and decided to play a game. They all wrote down a season separately and then shared their answers. I had no idea what was going on. It's unanimous. You're fall. I remember just thinking, girls are so different than boys. Whenever I dropped in there unannounced, they knew what I was up to, but I never mustered up the guts to ask the one sister out. I figured if I did, she'd say no, and then there'd be no more visits. There'd be no more bracelets, hugs, or impromptu snacks. No more reminders that this wasn't home. But I was looking for love. In the end, I didn't find it there, and those drop-ins faded into a sea of lost chances, leaving me with sweet memories and a fashion guide for life. This week, I screamed down Ridgeline on my Reeb SST, a Colorado-made, steel-welded, full-suspension mountain bike. It's right there out the window. When the dropper post is down and my butt grazes the rear tread, there's no time to figure out the line. My bike and body are one. My mind is blank. Eyes track the trail far ahead and, at the same time, what's under my front wheel. My body reacts. The line traces behind me. If I think anything, it's exhale. I purse my lips and blow like I'm trying to dry glue without disturbing it. This is where I'm closest to the eternal. Home is a fallen leaf on a gravel path in Cedar Mountain on the 1st of September. It's yellow and green and burnt orange and red with splatters of dark brown. I pick it up and hold it close and think about this leaf. Just before it fell, it peaked in its brilliance. I think about all of us humans. We're leaves on trees, coming and going, season after season. If I live my life right, if I'm lucky, if God wills it, I'll peak brilliantly just before I fall. Through all the seasons of my life, I've chased what looked like love, but when I found it, it was home. When I'm home, it's after a two-wheeled adventure surrounded by Mother Nature, followed by sharing food with good company. Riding my banana seat from the kindergarten schoolyard home to Mom, a hug, and a big plate of leftover lasagna. Wow, get choked up. Pedaling my BMX up and over Ridge Road to the far side of Rutherford to my high school girlfriend's place, Her mom made the best potato pancakes. Whew. Dang. Cruising my BMW up to Graham's, where I'd find double hugs from her and Aunt Marie. They'd make meatballs and ziti. Gripping my Harley. Man, I cried when I read it to myself. Gripping my Harley tight on Charlotte City streets on my way to Loopy's to hang out at the bar with John Kelly. I'd eat a giant plate of meatloaf and wash it down with an ice cold Busch Light, hauling two little ones in a trailer up steep gravel paths in Umstead Park. Their two wheels behind mine. We'd take a break and snack on packs of nabs, everyone fighting over who gets the peanut butter stuffed cheddar cheese ones. Perching up at the bar at Crank Arm, brewing after a group bicycle ride, falling in love again for the first time, every meal since, meaning filled. My sister-in-law's sourdough, my mother-in-law's pumpkin bars, my wife's Rice Krispie treats that you're making today. Her scrambled eggs with cheese or poached on toast, her skillet bread, pan-seared salmon, and garden-grown tomatoes, her loving embrace. Home is the longing for it. It's after the hard ride up the mountain pass to a ridgeline. It's after coming back down the other side. That's about when I can almost taste it. Home is after the long road trip. It's after the journey. And after all the trials and tribulations searching for love. Home is breaking bread with beautiful humans. Sometimes it lives in memories. With Mom, with Graham, with John Kelly. Other times it hurts when I think of my daughter, sharing a rack of ribs, hands messy and faces covered with sauce. It's reminiscing of loves lost and never found. It's laughter with close friends and a giant pile of wings on the table. And when it's dinner with my wife and son, it's home. Here in our Airstream, with Frank and Gus the dogs in Cedar Mountain in September, riding my mountain bike in DuPont Forest, skipping from rock to rock below a gentle waterfall in the early morning before hikers arrive. Mist in the air and sunlight twinkling on the water, flies dancing, slippery green moss on slate blue slabs, dark where wet and chalky where dry. The boys splash about in the miniature rapids and slip and slide on the rocks, jump out, then shake all about. Abby and I look at each other and smile. This is home. Wow, that was really hard. I didn't know how hard that was going to be to read.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I know you wanted me to ask you a question about that, but I think it just really speaks for itself.
Yeah. I think we can let it end here. Abby's gonna make Rice Krispie treats, and I'm gonna go ride my bike in DuPont Forest here momentarily. So, health, happiness, kindness, respect to every being and all things. Namaste.